I made a webcomic from start to finish using equipment as basic as school stationery and coloring software that is free. Yes, you heard, free. This whole idea came from a year ago around this time, when I was sitting down with my little brother on a hot sunny day. I've always loved telling stories and stories in general, and I spoke about a story I would love to have turned into a comic book. Problem was, my art was not on par with the vision I had in my head. Then another thought came about. What if, instead of drawing, I turned this into a light novel? Words come easier than drawings, right? And I could imagine drawing one illustration per chapter. I showed my brother 4 chapters worth of manuscript and he enjoyed it. He asked me,
"Why don't you turn this into a webcomic? It will work better that way."
"Didn't you just hear what I said? My art isn't as good as it should, bro."
Does it matter? Use it as practice.
And so, I went to work. Getting the visual look of this was hard, but I had 2 things in mind. One, the visual look of my main character was already set up, but for the secondary MC, it was kinda challenging. All I knew was that I wanted her to have glasses, and so I researched girls specifically who wear glasses, anime girls with glasses, models with glasses, anything that just has glasses on top of it. I stumbled upon Sarada from Boruto because I liked her visual design, especially when it came to her face. So she was the main inspiration behind this. Then, as if struck by gold, I happened to have started a manhwa called Windbreaker. And guess what? It also had a glasses female character. So my plan was to blend what I liked about both designs and create something new for mine. Here are the initial face sketches. Yeah, not the best design. She looked kinda plain, soulless, as if she doesn't So I went to refining. Here, she was more of a Sarada lookalike, a carbon copy if you ask me. So I wanted to change that while maintaining her attitude. So I tried to give her wet-like hair, which I didn't like. I hit gold again when I started to make it messy looking and I found my design. A mix between well-kept but unruly hair. With the main look of my MCs complete, all that was left was the crush the MC had. In all honesty, her design came as an afterthought. All I knew is that I wanted her to have 2 ponytails, and that's it. I never even thought about what she would be wearing. Guys, when making a manga that features multiple characters, make sure to do their character designs first and not be an idiot like me. Anyways, that aside, I needed them to be somewhere. You know, somewhere not blank. So when you look at my storyboard, if you can call it that, I saw a tree would work perfect for the composition. Yes, the tree has no logic of being there, but purely for aesthetics. This was supposed to be an afternoon confession. I wanted it to be at their school, but I didn't know where at school, so I opted for the back passage behind the classrooms. Since 1, it's secluded and I think people want privacy while they converse to their crush. Some do it mainly because they don't want to get embarrassed and think, if no one saw, then it never happened. 2, less people to draw. I was cutting corners, but I think the scene made sense in universe from a logical standpoint. And my background and perspective art isn't in its top shape. Hey, let's talk about paneling, expressions, and directing in general. This was the part I loved the most, and although it's not perfect, I believe I was competent enough. I didn't have much reference, but I had some experience with character acting. In fact, I drew 3 comic books in my high school years before I went digital. They were what you'd expect from a high schooler, but that made me gain experience. Paneling was not easy since I used to panel in a newspaper comic script kind of fashion until recently. All of this was drawn by pencil, pen, and paper, by the way. I scanned the images after. My friend can draw with his finger, but I'm not my friend. I can manage, but it's a hustle and I feel less comfortable and in control. Hence why I draw traditionally. All the coloring and special effects are done in Ibis Paint. It's the cheap alternative to Clip Studio Paint, and for the skills that I was at the time, it was perfect, though it lagged the higher the quality I went. As my art improved, the more difficult it was to paint on this thing. I had crashes after crashes after crashes in some pages, but you know your boy expected that, so he saved the images every 5 minutes. Trust me, it's better to suffer now than get a heartbreak when you can't recover your hours worth of work. So it's not a perfect app, but it is good for beginners. But if you're looking for something professional that could sustain you for a long time, then I suggest you look at other better alternatives, cause Ibis Paint really does need a lot of work. This was the before, and this is the now. Gotta say, I'm pretty proud of myself. I did this for no more than a penny, no less. I can make hundreds of these. Kidding, this was torture. But there you have it. A comic book production process worth $0. If you have a pencil, paper, and phone. If you don't, then I guess it's not penniless. You can read my comic on Tapas, Webtoon, and Manga Plus. I'll have the links in the description box below. Leave comments on it and tell me if you liked it or not, where I could improve, and many more. We're in this together, champ. Get drawing. This has been KP. Thanks for watching.